Waratahs season for 2021. Believe it or not, the Waratahs are actually usually my Aussie team of choice, for better or worse. I know they seem to get a pretty bad rap amongst a lot of other Aussie rugby fans, but there you go. The Waratahs. I do have a soft spot for the Force since they got cut and have been reintroduced, but traditionally it has been the Tars. Blame all those years I spent in China hanging out with a die-hard Tars fan. I'll go through their squad, some of their fixtures, and who's in and out, and what we can expect from the Tars this year. There's already talk coming from the Tars camp that they're not there just to be the whipping boys, so the expectations seem to be low on the Tars for 2021. In 2020 for Super Rugby AU, they finished fourth, so outside the playoffs of the five teams, with a 4-win, 4-loss record. Remember, two of those wins against the Force. They did pull the Brumbies pretty close at one point. I think they beat the Reds and the Rebels, but 204 points for, 189 against, so still a positive record, but nothing to really write home about with 4 wins, 4 losses, and missing the playoffs. The squad has had some changes. You still got Gus Bell, Tetra Faulkner, Harry Johnson-Holmes, Chris Talakai. Alafosio Tatola is one of the additions. He's a prop, and Tian Tauakipulu, Tom Robertson is your man out. So I think that's pretty stable from what it was last year. Hookers, you've brought in Dave Parecki. He's the main addition to the squad. Comes in from London Irish. Still got Tom Horton, Joe Cotton, and Robbie Abel. Robbie Abel's been around for seems like bloody ages now. He's been around how many different teams? Been with the Brumbies. He came to New Zealand to play with the Mitre 10 Cup team with Auckland. He's at the Tars. He's a bit of a journeyman. Locks is an area where you're lacking a bit of depth. You got Sam Cairden, who's another journeyman who's been around the block. Never really quite made it for a top team at a steady level for any length of time. Max Douglas didn't play last year, but he's still in the squad. I think he was an academy player. Jack Wetton's coming from the Highlanders. He's another journeyman at this point in his career, man. He's been with numerous teams as well, but certainly a famous last name, and he was pretty good for the Highlanders last year, especially in Super Rugby Aotearoa. Jeremy Williams, another academy guy as far as I'm aware, and Sam Wykes, the former Force guy, is back from Japan. But you've lost Rob Simmons and all that experience. You've lost Ned Hannigan for better or worse, and Stanley Forth has departed as well. So a bit of change in that kind of key area of the department. Flankers, Jack Dempsey, Charlie Gamble, who's another one who didn't play. Hugh Sinclair didn't play. Lockie Swinton, Carlo Tizzano. I don't remember him, but apparently he played last year, maybe just one game. And I guess number 8, Will Harris, didn't play. But there's a bit of movement there with Michael Hooper having left for Japan, and if you count Hannigan as a loose forward, he has left as well, as I mentioned before. So maybe a bit of shuffling around and some young guys to get some minutes in the Waratahs. Lucy's Jake Gordon, scrum half, he's your captain for the Tars 2021 season. I guess that means he's getting the starting slot without a doubt. You got Jack Grant, who's come back from Japan. I don't remember, but he's, I think, late 20s. So been playing his trade in Japan for a wee while. And don't think he ever played at Super Rugby level. I think he played like a lower level rugby over in Australia before heading to Japan. And Henry Robertson's another guy who didn't play but was in the squad for last year, is retained. Fly half, it's going to be Will Harrison, surely. And he looked the business last year. It was kind of between him and Noah Lolosio as to who was going to get that kind of backup job in the Wallabies. At the moment, Lolosio is still the guy, but Harrison has looked good. Now, Mac Mason has left. He's gone for the MLR, and he's a guy who, when he stepped up to Super Rugby level, just looked a bit out of his depth, but Will Harrison has just really, good run with it when he's got his minutes. You've still got Ben Donaldson, who didn't play last year, and Tane Edmund, who's come in from Club Rugby. So, it's going to be Will Harrison, I would imagine, for most of the minutes. Midfielders, a bit of change. Lalakai Fokete, Tipai Moeroa. Izzy Parisi has come in. Remember, he's done the rounds, came through with the Reds, defected to league, and then had a drugs thing, went to France, and has come back to Aussie Rugby. So hopefully it's a good rebuilding chance for him to get his career back on track, because he's certainly a talent. And then Joey Walton is there as well. Outside backs, Mark Nawanitawase. Still need to get back into the habit of saying his name. Good player, so hopefully I'll be saying his name quite a lot. Alex Newsom, James Ram, Tristan Riley's one who didn't play last year, and Jack Maddox. No Carmichael Hunt, he's deemed surplus to requirements, and Cam Clark has also left for the MLR. A few Aussie guys have been going to the Giltinis, it seems, with the connection over there. Rob Penny is still coach. Tough hand he was dealt last year, and it doesn't get any easier with the loss of some senior guys, but it's a good chance for him to kind of clear out the old guys. I know some of them are coming back, especially Hooper, but yeah, good chance to bring in the guys that he wants to see play and really mold the team around the style that he wants to be playing. So yeah, fixtures list is not the kindest. They start away to the Reds, I believe, only to be followed up by an away trip to the Brumbies. So that's your two finalists from Super Rugby AU last year, and you've got them both away to start with. 19th of Feb on a Friday, 27th of Feb on a Saturday. Then the Force at home is a game that if they're none from two will become a must-win, so the pressure will be on. Remember, the Force have got a bunch of good signings as well. Then 4th round bye. So, yeah, maybe the tail end of the season is where they'll be able to pick it up. Maybe they kick off straight away and go with 2 away wins, but on paper, it does look like a pretty tough ask for them. The Twitter account Rugby Fixation has gone and predicted the potential starting lineup for the Tars. I'll see if I can put that on the screen. And you'll see that compared to some of the other teams, average age pretty low. Their predicted lineup is 22.9 years. The bench with a few more years to it. If they put the likes of Wykes and Faulkner on the bench, there's a few senior guys. Very much on the young side, especially if you compare it to the likes of the Rebels. I mean, the Reds are still a pretty young side compared to the Force, and even compared to a relatively young Brumbies side as well. So, I don't know. It's an interesting point in Australian rugby where we are getting these, these old hands kind of leaving abroad and a chance for some young guys to come through. It'll be a true test of what the depth is like. In New Zealand, we always seem to unearth that next guy. Aussies tend to do it in certain positions. You guys always find Lucy's like gold, but yeah, I'm still encouraged by the likes of Will Harrison. He's looked like a pretty good player. Harry Johnson-Holmes I really rate for a really young guy. I mean, he's a very good prop for his age. He can play both sides of the scrum. So, yeah, there's certainly some talent, but we will see how they go. You guys let me know your thoughts. How do you think the Waratahs are going to go? Are they going to be the whipping boys like some of the media reports suggest, or do you think Rob Penny getting rid of some of the senior guys, bringing in the youthful guys who may be easier for him to mold, will prove fruitful for him? But anyway, you guys let me know your thoughts. Talk to you again soon. See you later.